press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, welcome back to your social science class. In the lesson social problems, we had to discuss gender discrimination, and that's what I would like to discuss today. We've already finished, and this topic can be added along with that. Now, gender, how do you define gender? We do try to mix certain things with gender. Or we say a boy has to behave like this, a girl has to behave like this. Why? Why do you say so? As early as it can be, we are very small. Girls are gifted with all pink color things. Boys are all gifted with blue color things. Why is the difference in color? Why can't boys wear pink and why can't girls wear blue? Who makes the differentiation? Parents themselves, because nobody else is there, and the elders in the house. Girls are given Barbie dolls, boys are given cars. Can't a girl play with a car, or can't a boy play with a doll? Can. Possibly can, isn't it? Why can't you? That kind of a discrimination goes a long way to go. And that thing that is there in the mind will always continue with the next generation, because the same thing is what they have seen. What kind of a discrimination do we have in society? Where does it begin? In the house. This is what I told you, with toys, with dresses, with colors, with certain things that are to be done, with games. It is the family and the elders in the family who try to ingrain this concept of discrimination. If you have twins in the house, boy and girl, you can correctly see it. Or if you have siblings, brothers and sisters also, a little years apart of age, also you can see it. If there are also only girls in the house, still you can see. They always tend to say, oh, boys can do that. You're not supposed to do it. Why? Nobody gives you a reason for why you shouldn't be doing it. Our society is, a large picture is bad. It is harmful. Parents' ways of protecting are right, but nobody has given you a reason for why this kind of a discrimination is happening. Now the times are changing, but earlier they said in school if you have karate and Bharatanatyam classes, girls have a Bharatanatyam, boys have a karate. It changed. I have seen girls do it, but it changed the concept of for a very long time. For a very long time it didn't change. Of lately it has changed. Why not know self-defense mechanisms? See, there are so many things I can question you on. You yourself can question. You see, if you have siblings of the opposite sex. Gender is a broader term. Sex, we can say male and female. That is an association of your body. Masculinity, femininity. Gender is not like that. Gender is a broader concept. Don't mix sex and gender together. Okay? Now, gender is a concept that describes men and women alike. Men and women in their own roles. Just because I am a woman doesn't mean I cannot do manly things. You get my point? Just because he is a man doesn't mean he cannot be showing a lot of love and care and affection, which is associated with women. Gender roles are to be done together. Your sex of being masculine or feminine is related to your body. Gender is not like that. Gender is a larger concept which you must understand in its own ways, in its own situation, in its own particular type. Don't mix just because I'm a woman, just because she's a woman, she has to be like this. No. It cannot be like that. Just because he's a boy or a man, he has to be like that. He cannot cry. Who said he cannot cry? Do you think his tear glands are missing? They are there. Why do we teach our boys that you cannot cry? You can cry. Why do we teach our girls you must sit properly? Oh, sit. You must be very prompt and nice. Why? See, nobody, I can put questions why, but who will give me the answer or who will give you the answer? These are questions that they are in my mind, maybe in your mind also, in the mind of the society at large as well. When we are going to get the answer for this, or when we possibly will change that kind of a notion on the broader concept. Certain families have accepted, certain families are well-to-do, they are open-minded, they don't think narrow, so it is okay. I am talking about the larger concept, the larger, broader society that is there. A problem lies there, isn't it? A girl cannot be doing some technical work. Why? Girl doesn't know how to mix the sounds. Why? She knows. She doesn't know how to do the electrician's work. Why? Why can't it happen? A boy doesn't know to shop groceries. Why? He still knows. If he has to eat for his food, he will know it. That's how a learning process goes. Where does it begin? In the family. A learning process must associate not to discriminate on gender, but rather accept each gender or each gender role properly so that you can live in contentment. You can live in harmony. It's not that, oh, women have to do this, men have to do this. No, who has written it? Qualities, even if you have to say qualities. Woman is associated with being affectionate, caring, loving, motherly. Man is somebody who is very strict, firm, and who has to cater to the needs of the family. Why? Why can't the role be exchanged? Can. Nobody has said the role cannot be exchanged. Don't you think men don't have a heart? Men do have a heart. Men can love better. Men can care better. Men also have affections. A woman can go and take care of the family. She can go out and work. She can go out and be independent on her own. She cannot associate with being a man or a woman. Roles are roles. It will happen. Society has told us, oh, this is like that, this is like this. But not necessarily you must follow it. Not necessarily. It's your capacities, it's your values, it's your personality, it's your ways of doing it. You can go ahead. Alright? Now, this kind of agenda, it involves all the aspects. I told you, when you say your personality at large, what has influenced your personality? Your cultural, your behavior, your socio-economic, your political attitudes, everything. Everything at a large which has been in your atmosphere has influenced the role of you being into a particular gender. So don't associate it only biologically. It's on a broader concept, I said. It's on a larger concept. It is something beyond what you say as masculine and feminine. Now, this also has your status in the society, okay? And it also shows you a hierarchy in the social status that you have. Now, we can focus to see, when we say gender discrimination, basic focus or a basic eye goes to women. Men are also discriminated. We must consider that individual also. Focus on women is needed. Likewise, focus on men is also needed. Balance, that is why we say equality. Now these feminists and feminism, what are feminists arguing for? Some are not arguing for what I am telling you, but some, the basic meaning is equal right for both man and woman. Not bringing them up or down in their status, but equal. If you read the scriptures, man created a woman to be beside the man. God created woman to be beside the man. Okay? So this is how our ways in the society also go. Now, in a larger concept, if we have to look, women and children are the ones who are left behind when something is offered into the society, when something has to be given to people. Women and children are taken as the minorities, where men are taken to be the majority. So that kind of a discrimination is more in terms of women and children, little likely for men, but it is still prevalent. Alright, what kind of gender discriminations we have all over the world? We will just have a different kinds of types that we could look. Now what kind of a discrimination may be there in India may not be there in some other country. We may have looked upon women very cruelly, they may not have looked. Or we may have looked upon some aspects in giving certain things to a woman or children, women or children alike, may not be the same in another country. So different kinds of discrimination are there, we will study them. Now, what kind of inequalities are there between men and women is being identified by an Indian economist, Amartya Sen. Now, he tells us about how in reality can we factorize, or in reality can we particularly say this is a kind of discrimination that is there. First is inequality in birth rate. Okay. Now we have a patriarchal society. I have been emphasizing you on this aspect of we being a patriarchal society. We cannot be matriarchal also, fully matriarchal. We have to balance. We have to take that mindset of being fully patriarchal. We have to balance it for both. Not matriarchal, not patriarchal as well. But that is going to take a very long time. I think we will be dead and gone by then. Alright. So, in the patriarchal society, preference is for the male child so that he becomes the successor in the family and takes the family ahead, because the girls are married off. Girls go to somebody else's house and they become a part of their family. So, this family is left behind with no male heir or male successor that is there. Now, that is why a lot of female feticide also happens. We have studied about female feticide. So go back to that and see what is there. Alright. Now most of the countries this kind of a female feticide happens. They don't want the girl child. But there is a saying, isn't it? I don't know if you have heard, but there is a saying, if you educate a girl, you educate a family. Why? Maybe our role may be very specific now, that she is taking care of the family. That quality of being nurturing is likely to women. So that's why that statement stands true. You can argue for it. Alright. Now countries like South Korea, China, Singapore and Taiwan, these are female feticide is very evident. Next is inequality in terms of infrastructure, in terms of facilities that are being given, in terms of qualities that are not properly distributed. Now, sometimes facts may be favorable to women, but in all ways that you have to see, discrimination lies. Now, if you go to get a job or something like that, I am giving an example apart, but understand, if you are going to go to get a job, in some places men are preferred. A managerial post is given for men. Women can function equally better or in equal terms. She can multitask. Men are also good at multitasking, but women can also perform better. She can become the boss. Why not? These factors have to be questioned. These factors have to be known. Alright. Now in countries like Asia, Africa and South America, these girls who are there, they have very less access to school than the boys. That is, they are sent very rarely to school. Not the boys are sent frequently, girls are sent very rarely, because they don't believe in educating the girl, or they don't believe in getting the girl educated for the right purpose. In India, our system or a way of this notion for not educating a girl child is changing. We have more number of girls who are coming out whose families are accepting that they have to study. Maybe in our classrooms, we may have less number of girls. When I was in 10th standard, we were 18 girls for 69 boys. So 69 boys in the class and 18 girls. So we were very less in number, though boys were more in my class. Still, that gap never, we never felt that gap between the boys and us. My class was a very nice one, a pleasant atmosphere in the classroom as well. But I'm telling you, the number of girls who were there. Likewise, in the other class, there were more number of boys as well, but girls as a whole were more in number comparatively. If you saw all the local locality schools, just opposite my school was a girls' school, a girls' college. School and college likewise together. So they had girls there. We had boys here. I studied in a co-education school. So we had boys more, girls less, but it never gave us any difference. It never gave us, our boys never allowed for any inequality. Even today, while in contact with them, that kind of an inequality is never there. So we must foster that in the class itself. We must start it in the class and then move ahead. People have taken into different professions now. People have been doing their best. Whoever was there, the 69 boys plus the 18 girls, all are doing well, no problem. But that kind of a commitment not to do, whoever it is. Some are getting married, some are yet to get married, whatever, their roles are their roles. But I'm telling you, this kind of a discrimination was never there. It should not happen with you also. You should not do it to anybody, man or woman, anybody, anyone for that matter. So infrastructure is not allowing them or not giving them certain facilities which they are entitled to. In the company for that matter, not giving the woman her position that she deserves or not giving her the promotion that she deserves. She does deserve to be in that position, but she is not given because it's male dominated. Alright? Not sent to schools, that is where it starts. It starts in your school. Teachers likewise play a very important role, not to discriminate boy and girl in the class. Any teacher. Parents do play a role, the neighbors play a role, everybody who is a part of your life plays a role in your development. In the classroom, it is the teacher. Teacher should not say, okay, he's a boy, let him do. She's a girl, she cannot do. No, that's a wrong way of saying, not to say so. Don't feel offended. If anybody says that, your teacher or any neighborhood, anybody, don't feel offended because you know your capacities, you know who you are. So lack of infrastructure. Inequality in opportunities. Now take this example of promotion here. Alright, first inequality is in education. A lot of the girls have dropouts. Why? Dropouts may be for poverty, in terms of marriage, they married away early. The concept of that early marriage is still to be questioned in the society. I have mentioned to you, wherever you go to interior places, you still do find it. For them, not marrying up to 25 is also a surprise. Because the custom is like that, because the tradition is like that. To the atmosphere I have seen, or where I have been brought up, 25 is still a less age for us. But in communities where we had to go for an exposure, for them, that kind of an age is still surprised that you have not married and not have had a child. So see, our traditional beliefs also play a role in making these kind of discriminations. So first is basic education, maybe because of poverty or marriage, or it's considered as a girl child being a burden of the family. Next is when they want to do higher education also, that is also not allowed or not given to them. Women study, see, that depends on the families. Most of the people in the villages are coming out now, but still there are some who go unnoticed. They can't have a master's, at least a master's degree or a bachelor's degree. So men are sent, boys are sent because they are the breadwinners of the family. That is the concept. The equality will come when we take that worm from our mind that women are inferior. Women are not. It is a balance. It is a balance, and it should be a balance for all the things that are going to come. You must also remember, never discriminate, never see any girl or any woman or any man for that matter, you girls, not to discriminate anywhere. Alright, then this is in countries like Europe and North America. Alright, then inequality in ownership. Anything that has to be owned, men take a stand, isn't it? Now, if there is a house that has to be owned, a land that has to be owned, a car that has to be owned, first preference is for the man. Even with driving, man wants to drive better. Don't you think women drive better? Women do. Association that women are slower in driving than men. Not always. Accepted, some women still drive very slowly. For their safety purpose, we cannot ridicule them. It's for their safety purpose, let them. But in other aspects also, when they own a house, man takes the stand. Man has a responsibility. Okay, we have to change that. Now, a woman is not allowed to participate in economic or social activities of the family, or basically decision making. Now, this was a time when it was written in your text long back. Things are changing now. So, you must see the present context when you think of all this. This was a long ago that it was written and being modified. It is still present. But on the contrary, this is also changing. That also you must remember. Alright? Then, it differs from region to region, maybe even in our own state. Let's take Karnataka for that matter. In the south, it may be a different attitude. In the north, maybe a different attitude. Somewhere here in between, maybe a mixed attitude. We never know. People are migrating, isn't it? People go here and there within the state also, outside the state. So it can differ from region to region, state to state, country to country. Then, favor is for the male child. But one community in Kerala, the Nair families, they have their inheritance right to the women. Okay, everything that is being inherited goes to the next woman, inherited by women. Right now, women can claim equal rights and equal property, whichever is to be inherited by them. So, women also have a say in the father's property or the husband's property, whoever it is. Inequality in family. Family, I told you, you must put this first because it begins even when we are very small. Alright. Now, this is also given in two different ways or two different societies. Maybe upbringing is good or maybe the upbringing is not good. Whatever it is two different societies, two different ways of looking into people. It's not there in all families, it is there in some families. Now, sharing of the work in the house, maybe a girl is confined to the kitchen and the boys, if there is a field in the house, boys are sent to the farm, boys are sent to the land to work, and the girl in the house is expected to be in the kitchen and make ready and keep things ready or food ready whenever the brother or the father comes. We can also change this aspect. We can make it better. Both can learn. There are things that you can learn, things that you can unlearn. It's up to us. I don't want you to discriminate anybody based on his a boy or a girl, a woman or a man, all in your future. Wherever you go, whatever you are doing, don't do this, okay? So this is what I want to say to in this class. The rest of the parts are already done. So this was what you have to add to that lesson and understand. All right, thank you very much for listening.